If you like this episode, please subscribe, share with others, rate and review so we can continue to bring you great programming.
This is The Thing About Cars, a podcast for car enthusiasts and the people who love them.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Thing About Cars. I'm your host, Mickey Desai, along with my co-host, Dave Pauly. How are you, Dave?
A little befuddled.
Befuddled?
Yeah, I'm just not on top of my game this morning. It's entirely possible that I'm going to go completely offline today.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, considering that we have no agenda for this episode, this will be maybe fit right in line.
Right, we'll be able to follow along very well.
It's entirely possible.
Yes. Misty, all the way across the pond. How are you, Misty?
Stabby.
Stabby. Yes. Misty is stabby. Well, never mind. I mean, she can explain that later. Tim, how are you, Tim?
Feeling racy. Thank you.
Woohoo!
Very cool.
Yeah, Tim is wearing a hot little off-the-shoulder number, which contributes to that.
Thank you. So just a little bit of neckline dropping there.
Yeah. A little bit of a little tiny bit of cleavage showing. It's just, just a wee bit. Oh,
all the man cleavage you never wanted to see.
Sorry, no, wrong word. Décolleté. Is that the word I'm looking for, Dave?
Décolletage.
Yes, thank you. Something.
I love
Okay.
that word.
Now everybody has to work twice as hard because I had to speak some form of French. Those are the rules. I don't make them up.
I love that word. It's one of my favorite words.
Yeah, same.
Yes.
Especially when it's my own. Because I mean, then there was a time that I did walk into a pole. I was distracted by myself.
My God, I am fabulous.
It was. It was just a perfect storm. Perfect top, perfect support garments, and then I was like, "Wow!" And then it was clunk, and I went, Thank you, Karma, for writing that little bit. For just addressing that slight bit of hubris that I was carrying along there. Yeah, thank you. Noted. Clue by 4.
All right. So like I said, we don't have a guest for today. I don't have a formal agenda for today. I have one topic that's been on my mind for the last week.
Is your agenda business casual?
Yes, always. Totally casual. But before we get to my business, Tim, have you got trivia for us?
I do. So this week's trivia question, we go over to Italy. For the Italian car brand Alfa Romeo, Alfa, A-L-F-A, is an acronym that when translated into English is A, automobiles are like a mistress, B, anonymous Lombardian automobile factory, C, Alberto Lombardi's factory of automobiles, or D, lovely automobiles made here. So let's take it from the top on that one again. For the car brand Alfa Romeo, A-L-F-A, is an acronym that when translated into English is automobiles are like a mistress, B, anonymous Lombardian automobile factory, C, Alberto Lombardi's factory of automobiles, or D, lovely automobiles made here.
Having worked on an Alfa Romeo when I was much younger, I would have thought the acronym would have been a translation of electrical systems designed by the criminally insane.
Yeah. And I'm
Yes,
I'm
I don't know what has
I'm sitting here scrolling through my little bit of Italian, because we spent probably close to a decade's worth of summers in Italy. And right now the only thing I can come up with is, where's the bathroom?
That's all I can ever say.
Dove il bagno, in just case anybody was wondering.
I like this trivia question. I think I know the answer. Well, anyway.
Thrilling clue.
Yes. So here's what's been on my mind. Don't have a formalized segment around this at all, but I was at trivia night on Wednesday, and we were talking about cars, and how, on the one hand, the automotive world seems to be scaling back on production of internal combustion engines, which sort of collided headlong with the notion that companies like Racetrack are still buying land to build gas stations. And I'm like, that doesn't make much sense. If we're phasing out internal combustion engines, why are we still building gas stations,
Yeah.
which my friend Tom said, well, it turns out that the major car makers in this country are also scaling back EV production because EV production is full of its own sets of problems, mostly related to infrastructure and battery capacities, or lack of infrastructure and lack of good battery capacities. But anyway, that's what's on my mind. I think Tim was about to say something. No,
I was thinking like, well, have you been to a Buc-ee's yet?
I have not been. I hope to never go.
Well, I mean, they are compared to many gas stations, a bit of a paradise from what I've heard.
It's more of a lifestyle experience.
Okay, yes. But they're probably the most upscale gas station / truck stop you might ever run into in this country.
So you're saying that the waitresses there have all their teeth?
Well, yeah. I don't think they offer full sit down service, but yes.
I mean, the bar's not that high.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I would, we're talking. I mean, I was waxing, lyrical the other day about the Waffle House. So please don't trust my judgment on this.
Right.
From the legal department, the thing about cars would like to apologize to all dentally challenged wait staff out there.
Right. Yes. Nothing personal.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, but at a Buc-ee's, you'll get I think that they have like 30 gas pumps, right? But they also the newer ones that are going in, you'll have like 14 EV charging stations. So as long as you have the land, you can always add on the charging stations, or and decontent your gasoline pump stations and replace those with EV stations. You have to have the geography, and you need that geography because a charging time for an EV is longer than filling up a gas tank time. So of course that gives you more time to go inside and peruse whatever wares are available inside the establishment.
The new Buc-ee's that they're building on 95 near the Georgia-Florida line has 90 pumps, 50 EV charging stations, and precisely for the lingering time. The other thing, Mickey, with why we're building them is never underestimate predatory competition. It's the same reason that we still build fast food chains or anything else, is the opportunity to take somebody else's business.
Well, okay, now that's something. Now let's go off into tangent land, because this has been running through my head.
I love tangent land. The shopping is incredible.
Yes. Now, okay, I don't remember how it is in the U.S., but I know that in the U.S. we don't have the gas stations as on the highway as we do here in Europe land.
Right, where it's actually in the median sometimes, right?
I've never seen it in the median because but they always have one on each side, and they're always a different brand. So you don't have like if I'm headed towards Schiphol and I pass the A4 bridge, which has 2 gas stations and a KFC and a Burger King and I think I used to have you can even get a suit there. Okay. It has like a suit supply there. Go figure.
If you're on your way to an interview. Yeah. You still get coffee on yours. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but like if I'm headed towards Schiphol, it's a Shell station. If I'm coming back from Schiphol, it's a BP. But what I didn't know, and this is what my ex-husband told me, because he's still pretty smart, except for the fact that he lost me, is that they actually have to, the lease that they hold is only for 5 years or something, or 10 years or something. It's a limited time lease, and you have to like rebid for it, and there will never be a situation to where it's, like double Shell stations.
Okay, right.
To keep the competition.
So you can't monopolize the.
Yeah, so you can't monopolize the exit. The downside to that is like there's usually anywhere between 10 to 20 euro cents difference between the Shell station at the A4 and the Shell station that is, that's on the Eisenhower lawn. So off the highway is a lot cheaper than on the highway.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. And
supply
and demand.
Electrical charging being what it is, it takes a whole lot more time to charge a battery than it does to fill a tank. So, how do you, if you have 8 pumps, what are those 8 people going to do while they're waiting for their cars to charge? If you're Buc-ee's and you have 50 charging stations, I get it. You set up an environment where 50 people can hang out and do
right. Yeah, well, inside Buc-ee's, they actually do have like restaurant space where can get barbecue, and which some have said is surprisingly good for being a commercial establishment that doesn't focus on that. But I can imagine that being a lot more of a way to go. Of you're going to have to get a lot more EV charging stations tied in with restaurants where people can spend their time and their money all in one spot.
Yeah, well, I know, like, if we're, when we're driving either to Spain or to Italy, if we're driving to Spain, we go through France. Do not get me started on ham and cheese. We do not.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
don't.
Okay, we won't.
Okay.
It is an abomination unto the Lord. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
And look, we didn't have to.
But if we're going to Italy, it's through Germany and Austria, and they have their, the big, because these are vacation routes, like in France, you have the Route du Sol, the Sun Highway, which is going to the south of France and going into Spain. So you have these massive parking lots, and you have these massive, we're talking also, 20, 30, 40, 50, gas pumps. And now they're starting to introduce also the charging stations, and then you have the restaurant, and you have the convenience store, and you have the toilet break, and it's rather a thing like with us, like when it was me and my ex-husband traveling, we'd be like, okay, yeah, we are not stopping at noon because God and everybody will be there.
Right.
So, but it'll be this complex. It'll be kind of like the one on the A4, where it has, a number of different restaurants, and it has kind of like the convenience store, where you can buy, what they call regional delicacies,
Right.
Usually penis-shaped pasta if you're going to Italy.
Wait, never mind.
That's for our other podcast to think about.
Think about pasta.
Think about pasta.
Yeah, the thing about pasta. But they also have like usually like a whole rack of like these little travel games you can buy, or books, like a magazine rack, and so there it is completely possible to hang out, for the 30, 40 minutes, hour, whatever it may take to charge your car, but like at the racetrack at the, Gaines, Vegas, Georgia.
So all our service stations are going to go out of gas business. I mean, if you only have 4 pumps and that's it, those tiny little convenience stores are going to go away, or they're going to have to figure out how to pivot.
Right.
Well, it's just, it'll just be like, Bubba John's gas station, Erling's nail salon.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it's a question of what you put inside to occupy. I don't know what you need, at least 20 minutes or so to get 75% charge, something like that.
I know what it should be. It should be a doctor's office. Get your car charged, get yourself tuned up while you're there. Take a look under the hood, right. Peek up into the colon. That's
Sure. That's Bob's rhinoplasty and tire stop. Yeah.
Exactly right. Go get yourself worked on while your car is getting charged up, and then you're good to go.
Get a ham and cheese baguette, and you're on your way.
You have no idea what an abomination unto the Lord those damn things are. They're horrible.
Misty,
they are an offense to every single molecule of taste. Julia Child would spatchcock the entire universe out of existence if she were confronted with French gas station jambon et fromage baguette.
But
I am not even lying.
I've had French ham, and it was quite good. In France, even.
I mean, I've had a cheese sandwich in France, at Le Mans, as one does.
As one does.
Yes.
But did you have Pernod?
No.
Sandwich. See, you fail. No, these are horrible. These are horrible. It is the crappiest ham ever. It is the crappiest cheese ever. There's no condiments. It is literally ham, cheese, bread. There's no lettuce, there's no tomato, there's no mayonnaise, there's no mustard, there's no spice, there's no soul. It is so white bread. I mean, it is like the whitest white people food that ever existed. And it just completely defies all logic, knowing that the French can make cheese, they can make ham, they can make bread. They have some of the most amazingly spiced food ever. And then you're confronted with this utter flames on the side of my face. It is that bad. It is literally that bad.
It's not often we channel Madeline Kahn in The Thing About Cars.
I'm tired. I'm so tired.
This rates right up there with last night. Channel all this as we were scheduling the session, channeling Spinal Tap.
Right. That's
Mickey. This is what happens when you don't prepare a show.
Hey, it's so true. It's so true.
This ham and cheese sandwich only goes to one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we? Should we just cut the episode while we're on top of the game right now?
No, actually, while we're on the topic of,
I want to see where it goes, just out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah,
having a great time. I mean, I got some aggression out about those damn ham and cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Tim. Please continue.
No. Well, while we're on the topic of alternately fueled vehicles, I saw a Car and Driver episode article this morning that they're still on the hydrogen fuel cell powered vehicle kick, which like a gasoline powered kick would have a very short refuel time if you can get the fuel source. I'm not sure how many of these Miaris that they actually sell, but they've apparently revamped them for the 2024 market. And what I thought was interesting, it says it's 182 horsepower electric motor that's powered by the hydrogen fuel cell. So it's not actually open burning hydrogen or burning it in a internal combustion motor. Right. But it says it offers 400 miles to a tank of hydrogen. And if you upgrade to the fancier limited trim, the range falls to 357 miles. But Toyota also provides $15,000 worth of hydrogen for those who take the fuel cell plunge with the Miari. Now, how they do that, I don't know, because I don't know if they provide you like a propane tank if you're off the grid. One of those large ones that fuels your entire house, or if they do that, or if they give you credits at Bob's Hydrogen and other exotic gases store. But I thought that was a bit interesting, and I'm going like, why does Toyota keep talking about doing this? They're out on their own. They go like, well, no, Toyota's not the only one. Apparently, Honda is also producing a hydrogen fueled version of the CRV. Not that
What is this Japanese reluctance? Because it is. I mean, you see, I'm not sure what nation you could foist off on Tesla, because I mean, Elon Musk first is South African. I'm not, as an American, used to claim him. But it does seem to be the Japanese, at least the major Japanese brands that are like going, no, we don't want to do electric, and I'm wondering, I'm also wondering about that Post-it note monster that's right behind you, Tim. You're distracting.
Yes, that's a.
So but anyway, but I mean, I am curious. What is the is it is it are the Japanese seeing something that we're not? That maybe electric vehicles aren't as environmentally sound, as we seem to think they are.
It reminds me of Sony beating the Betamax drum in the 1980s. Betamax was technically a better product, but because they wouldn't share the technology, no one adapted it. And while hydrogen fuel cells may be a better product, they're not approaching it from a mass market open source mindset. So it's I have a feeling it's going to be very boutiquey. And again, it comes down to the infrastructure. States and countries are starting to build the EV infrastructure that EV vehicles need. I think it's just going to win out of fait accompli, because they've been beating this drum so long from a proprietary perspective. No one's putting hydrogen tanks in at Costco.
Yes.
Unless of course Toyota or Honda come out with the take your garden hose and fuel your car up.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, it can't break down the water into its constituent elements.
More energy to do that than you get out of it.
I just think people aren't trying hard enough.
Well, I think they tend to generate hydrogen chemically rather than electrically. If you're going to get hydrogen sourced from someplace, but I am not a chemist and don't know the details on that.
Nor do you play one on TV?
No, exactly not.
So here, let me read these headlines to you if I can interrupt real quick. I just punched up automotive news just to see what would come up, and Reuters apparently has an automotive autos and transportation subcategory. So I'm just going to read headlines. I'm not going to do any deep dig here.
Mm-hmm.
And I confess I am selectively picking these headlines. I'm not being comprehensive here. So give me 30 seconds. Tesla to recall 200,000 vehicles in the U.S. to fix a rear view glitch. Electric car maker Polestar to cut around 450 jobs globally. Tesla blamed drivers for failures of parts it long knew were defective. Tesla Cybertruck deliveries hostage to battery production hell. In 2023, bold EV strategies took a punch from reality. An abused wife took on Tesla over tracking technology. She lost. Is your EV broken? Finding a technician to fix it may take a while. Tesla created a secret team to suppress thousands of driving range complaints. And have you scratched your EV battery? Your insurer may have to junk the entire car. That's where I'll stop. But EVs are taking a bashing, right? Not the least of which is Tesla just sort of seems to suck. But
yeah.
Well, I think part of it is always that, bad news always generates more clicks than good news. Everybody's not going to go, hey, so and such company just improved their range by 10%. And you're like, okay. But that you get a lot more clicks when X number of vehicles are recalled or.
Yeah, sure. Or like the whole stuck accelerator thing that wasn't, what was it? The Toyota? Was it the Toyota Prius with the stuck with the accelerator? The rate of acceleration?
No, I think it was Fords that had.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. In other news, water is wet.
Toyota. Sorry,
but it ended up not being the acceleration pedal. It ended up being a floor mat, right?
Yeah. Right. Yes, it could get stuck on, into the mechanism. Right.
I really want a picture. I think we need a picture of someone eating a French ham and cheese sandwich in a Ford on the website.
Misty would be like.
You know what, Dave? I just want to say thank you for funding my next trip back home, and I'll be waiting for confirmation that you've bought my airplane tickets just so I can come and just, glare at you in person.
Nice.
Be nice to Misty. Oh God, that's sexy.
It really is. You look a little bit like a nun I had in high school.
Jesus.
No higher compliments. That's
for the record, I did not take us there this time.
Right.
For once, the nun did not come from Mickey. Okay, sure, yeah. So.
But Mickey, is that as we are recording this in the dead of winter, at the end of January, yes. And you were talking about, one of the articles was the Tesla having to have a team of people to calm down their owners about the lack of range. One of the news stories I saw this week was, with the bitter cold we've had in the U.S., that EVs of, their range gets shortened in cold weather, and the charging time also goes up in cold weather, and showed long lines of EVs at charging stations. That's one of those things that I don't know how well they put into verbiage as far as the your mileage may vary warning that you get on the sticker of a gasoline fueled vehicle of based on what kind of temperature, what kind of range you might expect out of a full charge, or what kind of charging time you might get. That is an issue that clearly people have been running into, especially if they're haven't installed a home charging station and can just let the darn thing charge overnight. Especially if you have a milder climate garage like a lot of us do.
Yeah, I think that's and I think that's something maybe all of us kind of had that in the back of our heads that like when it's colder, batteries in general don't work as well. That's why there's how many of us remember everybody saying hey, store your batteries in the refrigerator because then they don't lose their charge.
Mm-hmm.
as fast. So,
which ended up killing the battery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
but it kept them fresh. They didn't go sour, that's for sure.
Yeah,
it's true.
They didn't smell.
Right.
Nothing like the smell of a dead battery. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, but and this is something that maybe it's the fact that I don't want to lose that vroom vroom, and I don't want to lose, my manual transmission, because honestly, if like every car that my ex-husband had was kind of, because he had the Mazda CX-5, and then and now he has the Mazda 6, and those are the kind of dual transmission things, but he always keeps them in automatic, and I hate it. Hate it almost as much as I hate a French ham and cheese sandwich.
Now, when you say a dual transmission, it's
the one where you
can
you
slap
can
the shifter side to side for upshifts and downshifts.
Yeah, it's still shit. I hate it. I hate it. And what I absolutely hate, because I brake a lot using my engine in Claudette, so instead of just immediately stamping on the brakes, pull back, downshift, whatever. And because I'm so used to how Claudette slows down because she's a standard transmission, then I would, hop into the Mazda 6, and it would just mess me up 6 ways from Sunday because, his gears, that Mazda 6, because it's automatic transmission, gears down differently, and gears down automatically. And then I'm just like,
that's one thing I've noticed with my wife's Kia Telluride is that I've been driving that a little bit more than I used to. And in my old, for a comparable vehicle as far as weight and engine and transmission type configuration, both V6 with an automatic transmission, if I'm coasting down a hill in the Astro and I let off the gas, it pretty much freewheels going down the hill. There's not a whole lot of engine braking. On the Telluride, I do the same thing, and I have to get back on the gas to not slow down from what I have speed I've been going. And I think it's the transmission is designed to have more of a lockup function on the torque converter. But I thought that was a bit strange because so many vehicles have more innovations geared towards getting higher fuel economy. And of course, when you don't have to step on the gas and can keep your same speed, that's free fuel economy. Whereas on the Telluride, it offers the function where it automatically shuts off whenever you come to a full stop at a stoplight. It's much to my wife's consternation. She hates that function. I don't mind it at all. But I would have thought that they would have done some programming into the torque converter lockup function that would let it coast down a hill. But I don't know, maybe there's a certain sense of security that they're trying to put into people's minds that maybe you're not, careening down a hill at breakneck speed if your brakes go out or something.
Well, that just takes all the fun out of it, Kim, because I am literally the person, we all know that normally I don't drive much past Germany. Okay. And I certainly don't drive in the German Alps, and I used to drive my ex-husband batshit insane because we'd be going down these deep, these really steep grades, like 5-7%, like the ones where they're saying, brake, use your engine to brake, we'd go down this hill and I'd be going, whoop, I'd throw my hands up and do that. And he's like, why you gotta do that? And I said, no, and then we'd go up the hill and I would, I'd sit there and I'd do the like the scream machine at Six Flags, and then go down the other side. And he's like, I hate you so much. I'm like, yeah.
All right. So
but I'm fine.
We could go on forever about this, I think. And it would be cool if a lot of us could just get together in person. We have some celebrating to do. I mean, amongst us, there's been a good start to the year for many of us. And when I say good, I mean like Dawn has something to celebrate. I think Dave's got new clients to celebrate. I don't know about Tim, but we need to give Ben a hug for Ben. Ben has a hard thing to do today.
Yeah, Ben needs lots of hugs and love.
Yeah. So in any case, Tim, let's wrap. Let's do the trivia thing.
Okay, let's take the question from the top. For the Italian car brand Alfa Romeo, ALFA, that is an acronym for, when translated into English, would be A, automobiles are like A, mistress, B, anonymous Lombardian automobile factory, C, Alberto Lombardi's factory of automobiles, or D, lovely automobiles made here. So, Dave, as our...
I really have no idea. I'm going to go with the mistress.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, for no other reason than it speaks to me on a romantic level.
Of course. Misty?
I think I'm going to go with the Alberto Lombardi.
Okay. And Mickey?
D. I'm going to go with D because I think the A in Alpha stands for amore, which is love.
Strangely enough, it's actually anonymous Lombardian automobile factory, which in Italian is, and excuse my pronunciation, Anonimia Lombarda Fabbrica Automobili.
You didn't use your hands enough at all, Tim.
Exactly.
Si. Let's try that again with full feeling.
Allora.
So, yeah.
So Misty got it.
No.
No?
None of us got it. None of us got it.
Oh.
That's what happens when you only have 3 people and 4 answers.
That's
right,
true.
Yes.
Oh, not necessarily.
Right. You get multiple people picking what they think is the right answer.
It's what can happen, and in this case, it's actually what did.
Right.
Dave, I see you got a nice big cup of D there.
Oh. Thank you, everybody, for listening to The Thing About Cars. We love you. We will have more guests. I'm trying to line up a few folks for us. If you have an idea for guests or can introduce us to people who would be great on the show, please drop us a line. In the meantime, thanks to my co-hosts and friends, and we'll be putting together a better, not so informal agenda for you for the next episode. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you in about a week.
Ciao.
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 Good one, y'all. Allora, ciao.
Ciao, bella.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Thing About Cars. We'll see you on the road.